Hello everybody, welcome back. It is me, your old pal Orpheus, with another adventure here on Orpheus Plays. We're playing Blade Sorcery today. I'm jamming out, apparently. We're playing Blade Sorcery today in survival mode. Hey, I hope you're doing well wherever you are today, whether it is day or night. And today, I want to talk about something. I come from an era where social media didn't exist for most of my life. And so, I quit social media a couple of times, and I'll get into that. Maybe that's something that you've been having in your life. Anyway, let's get things kicked off right now. I've been eyeing this thing since I started. I have to have this. This is the Kana Saibo, which I don't know what language that is, but oh boy, this thing looks painful. It's like Lucille, except they had a lot more metal to work with. Anyway, let's get our first traditional slow motion kill out of the way today. This poor man is going to get this thing right upside the head, bro. Come here. Let me block one more shot to make you feel like you're doing something. Come on. Okay, here we go. Oh my god, he's so surprised. He's like, that thing had nails all over it, oh god. Anyway, and now with those out of the way, let's get to our topic today. Now, like I said, I come from an era a long time ago, back in the 1900s, which, by the way, thanks for describing those of us from back in the 1900s as back from the 1900s. We really do appreciate that. Anyway, so back then, we didn't have social media, and part of it was because, home computers were, compared to what they are today, they're a damn joke. Like, we had some video games and stuff like that. Like, go look up a game called Choplifter, and that was the pinnacle of technology for us. Choplifter and stuff like that, like the Hitchhiker's Guide text-based game and everything. Anyway, so there wasn't really the connectivity that you have these days. You could log on to something called a BBS, which is a bulletin board system. You dial up on your modem. You've heard the sound. It's used for the confused sound for when people let me see if I can put it in. Yeah, maybe that thing right there, if I'm able to get it. Yeah, that sound, that was dialing into a modem in somewhere in the world, and on a BBS, you could, wow, this thing rocks. Wow. On a BBS, you could go on there and you could get yourself some communication with somebody. Well, the thing about that is it was like you'd send a message to the bulletin board and then someone else would have to dial in and they'd get the message, and it was usually more like, hey dude, I got the new hacked copy of, I don't know, Swords and Mayhem or something like that, right? And they would go, oh cool, is it a nice hacked copy? Yeah. Oh, you don't even need the authenticating, security thing and blah blah blah. Anyway, so that was what most of the, I guess, social media was back then. It was more like, I'm gonna leave you a message about something nerdy and you're gonna leave me a message. It wasn't like, oh, I'm at the restaurant, because I mean you're not going to go and dial in to a BBS while you're at a restaurant unless you're one of those fancy people. And those setups cost a lot of money. And so since no one else had it, I mean, you're not going to be communicating with anybody. So we had this thing, it was like, you could do that stuff, but again, there wasn't any home PC internet for the widespread masses. It wasn't the World Wide Web, as they call it now. It wasn't the internet. It was completely separate. It was like an individual... Wow, bro. It was like an individual experience for each person. Now, there were places like Muds and Moos and Mushes. These were multi-user dungeons or social experiences, kind of similar. They were, a lot of people could go into something called Telnet. So you could dial into a server. Like, maybe your local library had a server that it could use. Take that, lady. That people could use. And then you go on something called Telnet. And Telnet allowed you to connect to different things. And a lot of them were multi-user dungeons. So it was a text-based World of Warcraft. Ooh, nice, bro. Text-based World of Warcraft. And it was actually a lot cooler than it's... This guy is so clumsy, he killed himself. Bro, are you okay? Anyway, so, you know, you could do those things, and it was, you'd go on adventures with your friends, and you'd do all sorts of stuff, and you'd just kind of hang out and go fight dragons in a text-based adventure. And so, wow. Blinded by the light. Anyway, so that was like online social stuff. But if you wanted to like update your friends on what was going on, you'd tell them like the next day, or you'd meet up with them that night or something like that. There was no like status updates that you would leave your friends, right? Unless it was like, I'm going to call you later on tonight, right? So social media wasn't a thing until I had my third radio job, which I'll be getting into in a podcast here coming up soon. I had my third radio job, and I was on one of those Joe stations. You know, they have like Jack FM and Joe FM and stuff like that. So I was on a Joe FM radio station. One of the first ones in the nation, by the way, strangely enough. And so I was a genuine personality on it. Like I was the wacky news guy, right? And so I'd have to go running into that studio to do my news. And so it was like, hey, it's Orpheus, the wacky news guy, right? Well, they said, you need to get MySpace. And I was like, ooh, clean and crisp. They're like, you need to get MySpace. And I'm like, I need to get what space? You know? Now everybody... Wow, again, clean. It just kind of dropped. By the way, that's the realistic decapitation mod, in case you're wondering. The one that lets their heads explode is called the Head Breaker mod. I had some people a while ago that asked about that. Anyway, so they said, you got to get MySpace. And I said, okay. Well, MySpace was kind of like Facebook, in case you're not familiar. I'm pretty sure that that's common knowledge what MySpace was. I think, does it still exist? I don't even know if it does. If it does, great. I don't think anyone uses it. But, like, you got to get one of those. I was like, okay, and I put, like, you know, music that I liked on it and everything, but I only used it to, like, be, I'm going to be at this, ooh, nice. I'm going to be at this, event for something, or I'm going to be, I'm on the air in 5 minutes or something like that. And, I mean, no one cared. You didn't go to it for, like, live updates for things. And so, had this thing going. Never really used it except to, like, I don't know, just kind of show off who you were. I mean, that's, except to kind of show off who you were. You showed off what kind of music you liked. And because this was a music station that I was working for, it was, you had to tell them, I really like this trendy music that's out right now. This is some of my favorite stuff, even though it wasn't most of the time. Like, if I had to fake that I like the Bare Naked Ladies one more time, I'm going to strangle somebody. Anyway, I'll thank radio for Bare Naked Ladies being stuck in my head a lot of time in my life. Ugh. Boom! Like a scoop! And it explodes. And, so I never really got into it until, like, when did I get into, like, Facebook? I don't even remember. It was a really long time ago. Like, when you had to have an invitation to get on Facebook. Yeah, that's how long I was on Facebook. My first time. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting. A lot of the times, you'll like, I'm going to deactivate my account. But you do it for, like, angry reasons, right? So I was starting to find people that I went to school with, like high school and college, and I would see their updates and everything. And you know how it works. That you tell Facebook like where you went to school and what kind of interests you have, and stuff like that, and it'll suggest friends for you. And a lot of times they're friends that you went to school with, or that they're friends of the people that you know, right? And so you friend them, and you kind of have this little network. Well, I mean, you know what social media is. I don't have to explain this. And so I had, they canceled each other out. That was pretty cool. And so I was like connecting with all these people from high school and from college and stuff, and it was kind of neat, But then up creeps the ugly head of my autism and my brain damage and my sociopathy. Well, antisocial personality disorder, APD, that can make it so at times in your life, and bipolar, it can make it like at times in your life you just get angry at people's happiness, right? It's hard to describe. If it's something that you go through, like, especially with Facebook, right? You go scrolling through there, and I do this these days even with my Facebook. But I'll explain in a minute. My Facebook now is very different than it used to be. So you know how it is. You go scrolling through Facebook, and it's like, oh, this person's at this concert. That person's at this thing. Oh, I got this funny little cat picture or something. Or, I know that people use the people that use Facebook are a little bit more old school, right? But I mean, social media is basically the same thing these days. People sharing their experiences and what they've been doing and everything. They take their camera on vacation, right? You know how that goes. And so, instead of going on vacation, they take their camera on vacation and show it a bunch of cool stuff. Anyway, it's like having a kid, but So, you go on there and you see all these people doing all this cool stuff. Like, I had no problem with it for the first several years. It was like, yeah, oh look, that person that I was in that class with, that choir class. Oh, they seem to be doing well. They're working for somebody in Washington D.C. or they're doing this and they're doing that. Well, the part about my antisocial personality disorder is it sometimes makes it so I compare myself to other people. And when I compare myself to other people, I kind of get that like, F you. Because I was having a lot of difficulty in my life here and there, and I still do, of course. But I got to this point where, like, my problems were making it so I didn't have a normal existence anymore. And so when I saw people on my feed that have this, what I would consider a normal existence, it was like, it would really bum me out, right? And I'd see my friends doing, oh, this one's going to a concert, that one's he's in Europe right now, and he's traveling across the country, and he's just enjoying himself. And I would start looking at that stuff, and it would boil my blood, and I don't really know 100% why. I mean, I know the root causes of it, right? But for me, it's like, I get a little upset at seeing that stuff. And so I started, getting more and more mad as I'm scrolling through it. And as the years go by, my friends are getting older. We're talking like, 6-7 years on. Oh, she's just dangling her legs. La, 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 la. So I see over the years, my friends, 6-7 years, they're doing this, they're doing that, and they're getting older, and so they're progressing in their life events. And the time that I had to quit was I needed help from my friends. I was in a financial situation where I needed a lot of help, and I asked my friends, I said, is there any way any of you can help me? This is really dire circumstance. I'm not going to go into what it was, maybe at a later time. It's not really something that I discuss very often, but and now you're all like, well, now you have to tell us. No, I don't. Sorry. I'll probably do another episode. I'll do a podcast about it at some point. But so I had asked my friends, and I said, can some of you maybe help me out with a couple of stuff? And I had 100 some odd people that I was friends with on Facebook, and it was everyone that I had known from high school, as good friends, people that I felt close to, other people that I'd met along the way, and wow. And I just, I said, hey guys, can you please help me out? Now, out of the 100 some odd people, two of them helped me out. One of them, who is a multi-millionaire and business owner, multi-millionaire and business owner. This guy created some amazing things that people are, a whole bunch of places are using. Again, I'm not going to go into any specifics, but this was a guy that could have literally given me a job, created a job for me. And I said, hey buddy, I'm really in dire straits. I could use your help. And he said, well, what you need to do is learn coding. And I was like, what? He said, you need to learn how to code, because there's big money in that. And I was like, dude, maybe you don't understand. Like, I need help now. I need financial help. Wow, that's 2 in a row on that. Nice. So I need financial help now. And he's like, well, if you learn coding, you'll be able to get a job. And I'm like, how long does it take to learn coding? He's like, 3 to 6 months. I'm like, again, I don't think you understand what I'm talking about here. Like, I need the financial help now. And he's like, no, I can't really, nothing I can do for you. Sorry. So, okay, great. Well, those 2 people that helped me were the ones that I was like, you guys are cool. And before you're like, well, maybe some of them were in their own financial situations. No. I was at school with a bunch of people that really, they were, hey, Mr. Clumsy. Oh, Mr. Clumsy. Oh, no. But I was in school with a bunch of people that were very financially stable throughout their entire lives. It kind of set up for it kind of thing. And so, it kind of made me mad. So that was the first kind of straw, right? The second one, is this a lance? Oh god, these guys are screwed. Anyway, the second one was when I started seeing all of them posting pictures of their kids and stuff. Now this was, I don't know why this bugs me so much. I do not like children. Let me put it that way. I don't like kids, and I mean like young kids, like, ones that are still pooping their pants and destroying stuff in the house. I'm not into that, at all. And so when I start seeing all these people that they're turning into adults, right? They're getting their kids going, and all they're doing now is posting stupid pictures of their kids, right? Just, oh, here's my baby's first this, here's my baby's first that. Oh, look, isn't my angel cute? Look at this new outfit someone got us. I couldn't take it anymore. I just could not take it anymore. And so that was the straw that broke the camel's back on that one. I was like, no, look, I am out of here. And I said to people, I'm leaving Facebook. And so I deleted that account completely. And I mean like completely. I didn't make it so it was just deactivated. I deleted the account. And then I was so happy. I didn't have to mess with any of that. Whoop, what happened here? I didn't have to mess with any of that stuff, again. Now, am I sad that I don't talk to any of those people from back then? Not really. Because they're very fake people. And as a matter of fact, part of what pissed me off was it was coming up time for the class reunions. And for some reason there's this trend now where they have like multiple years for class reunions at the same time. This wasn't one of those. They had, this is ridiculous. They had my school hired a private investigator. Not to find just me specifically, I'm not that important, but to find people that they couldn't find to get them to come to the class reunion. And so I had them messaging me on my old Facebook, and that was like, right when I deactivated it. And then they would like send letters and call me, and I'm like, how did you get this number? Oh, we have some resources. Well, I found out from another couple of people that they were using private investigators. That made me mad. So that was part of what happened. Anyway, so I got a job when I moved to this. What is this? Double-bladed sword. Okay. I'm Star Wars kid. Anyway, so this thing's nice. I like this. Yes. Yes, very nice. So we moved to the city that we're in now, my wife and I, and I get this job at the local dispensary as their education director and social media director. Now, because of this, I had to get myself another Facebook account, and I had to get myself an Instagram account, and I had to get myself a Twitter account. And I had to start monitoring Facebook and everything. You know what I'm going to do with this? No, come here. There we go. And now we're going to spin it. Yeah, all of you are screwed now. Come on. Come on. So I had to get myself more social media stuff again in order to run all of the social media for the dispensary. And so I was spending a ton of time on social media. Where did it go? Oh no. That's like basically my life. Literally, I was a professional social media person, which just, I mean, you know. And so I started to get more friends, but the thing is, I only have friends on my Facebook right now that are people that I worked with at the dispensary, or people that work with Mrs. Orpheus, or there's, I think there's one other person. There's one other person that I still talk to from my old Facebook, and I have as a friend on this one, and that is the gal that I told you about in another episode about my DNA tests, and that's the girl that I call my sister. She has gotten on with her life stages and had two beautiful kids, and I do not mind seeing the pictures of those kids as they grow up. My little nephews, it's great to see that, and so I got no problem with that. But the thing is, I do not use social media the way that I used to. I don't have the same things, you know, that go on. I don't post a bunch of stuff about, oh, I went to eat at this place, I went to eat at that place. Now, I did deactivate my Instagram, and I did deactivate my old Twitter, but there was a reason behind that, and I can't really get them back now. I won't go into that either. Anyway, so I kind of actually quit that as well, because I have had very bad times in my life with my birthday. I might tell that in another one at some point. I never had a proper birthday party from about age 11 till actually about now. My wife and I go out for stuff now, but I've never had an actual birthday party in my adult life, which is just kind of, I know right now you're like, what? Yeah, no, seriously. I've never had a group of people that have gotten together to give me a proper birthday and proper birthday presents and everything. There was one, but it was when a gal that my wife works with heard about that. She was like, oh, I'll throw you a birthday party. And she threw me a kid's birthday party. Like, with a bunch of like brand name stuff on the all over the place, and like, got some silly party favors and put a big old stupid hat on me and stuff. And I was like, no, because it was her and my wife and me, and it's like that. No, this is awkward. I'm not into this. So I've never had a proper adult birthday party, and it's just so around my birthday I get a little bummed out. And so I did this, on Facebook, you can click a button to wish someone happy birthday, right? And one year I had like maybe two people out of like the 30 some odd that were my friends now, and maybe two or three that clicked the button, and I got, look, if you guys are listening right now, don't worry, I'm not pissed at you or anything, but it was part of the reason that I quit Facebook for about 6 months a while ago, because, again, I wasn't feeling the love. And then I realized Facebook doesn't really prioritize you to your friends if you don't post a lot of stuff, right? And so you can be buried in their feed. Well, it's not like I'm ticked off at my friends for not clicking a button, right? I get that. I get what goes on in life. You get busy and everything. But that was kind of what made me do it again. I've slowly started creeping back in. I might start more social media for the Orpheus Plays channel. We'll see if that gets to be something. I do have a Twitter, or an X. I got an X. It's Orpheus Plays, obviously ORPHOEUS, and you've been watching Orpheus Plays. I hope you enjoyed today's little blurb. Did you quit social media at some point? Are you still on it? Which ones are you on, and why do you use each of those? I'm kind of confused about the new ones. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one here on Orpheus Plays. Bye!